Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. Lisa Copeland here, Conquering the Shift live. And for those of you who follow this show regularly, it is a real estate training. It's to teach realtors, clients, prospective clients, people who just want to know more about real estate. I originally set it up just to do for my team at eXp Realty. And then I thought there's so much goodness here. We just can't keep this to ourselves. And we want to share our wealth and our knowledge and really help the industry level up. And I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I sure did. I'm getting my comments up here. I had a great Christmas. If you had a really good Christmas, I have a terrible time getting my hat straight here. If you had a good Christmas, just drop a one. Just drop a one so I can see that you enjoyed Christmas with your family. I got to hang out with my family, my grandkids, my kids, my best friends. It's just my favorite time of the year. But you know what? Today I was back at it. Sort of. Our grandson's got a bunch of cash. You know how kids are. They love cash. So I gave them each $51 bills. And I had them wrap it in a box, Eli and Cameron, if they're watching tonight or not. But Eli and Cammy, I had them put them each in a box, open them at the same time, and they were like, all these $1 bills popped out and they were going crazy. They're like, oh. So today James and I took them we took them shopping. We went to Chick-fil-A, our favorite place to eat, and then on to Target so they could spend all of their money. And let me tell you, they would have done every one of you proud. They spent every dime. I think Eli had $2 left, which is great, right? That's what it's for. It's for that. So anyways, all right. So first things first. Tonight we're going to talk about finding deals, right? So I'm continuing on what I did. I started last week on what I learned at Grant Cardone's Real Estate Summit. If you guys have never seen Grant teach live, I mean, I'm talking 3 days on his feet with a flip board, like those flip pads, and he would write it out and do calculators and on his feet, like 1,400 people in the audience. I think he said 1,400 online and then 9,000 in Twitter Spaces. I mean, but talk about a guy that just leaves it all on the field. My friend Grant Cardone. So anyways, this is kind of part two, and I'm spending the next couple of weeks going over because these are really important things to learn if you want to get into the business of investment properties in 2023. And I personally am steering my clients, my investor clients, that is, into multi-doors, right? Isn't it better to get paid on 3 doors, 4 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors than 1 door? And you'd be surprised. Sometimes the investment's the same. So you 3x your money, you 4x your money, sometimes, not always, but for the same investment as a single family property, depending on where that single property is located. So it's really a great deal. I do want to put this out there. So also today, and I'm doing it all day tomorrow and Wednesdays, I'm casting for my new show, American Dream, Central Texas, which is an Emmy nominated show that I was chosen to be one of the hosts of. For Central Texas, and it'll be on Fox on Sundays. I don't know what time yet. I'm not sure that we have the air time yet, but I've got a segment on it, and it's a lifestyle and real estate show. And so I'm looking for great houses, and so I'm casting houses for the show. If you know of anybody selling in Q1, if you want to sell in Q1 and you want to find out how to get the house crazy exposure, be on television, go out to all the syndicates, please let me know. Caveat, if it's listed with somebody else, the house is not eligible to be on my show. So just so you know that. But if you're out there and you're watching this, you're catching the replay, and you know somebody who's talked to you about listing their house, or is interested in listing their house, and you want to get it sold quick, you want to get national TV attention, you want to, you guys know me. I'm a marketer, right? And so anyways, let me know. Go ahead and shoot me an email or a text, lisa@lisacopeland.com. We will be setting up a casting email. I don't have it yet. But anyways, I'm looking for some great houses to be able to feature on the show. Anyways, it's so great. It's just so great. I'm in love with it already. And having a lot of fun lining up and casting for the show, lining up my guests, lining up the businesses, lining up the charities. But now I got to line up the houses. So help me out, please. I need all of you to be my casting agents and refer me to some people that might be looking to sell their house. Q1, Travis, Williamson, or Bell County. I'm looking for all 3 counties. Yeah, so there's that. Casting. Don't forget. So what else? Okay, so tonight, why don't we get into, now that I've told you about my Christmas, look at my shirt. Elena Cardone would be so proud, my sweatshirt. Y'all, it is cold in Texas. My goodness. I went to Pilates early this morning, then, did a bunch of work around here, got some appointments set, then went and picked up Eli and Cammie. We took them to lunch, took them to Target. Then James and I came back with them for about 4 hours. We came back and we walked 4 miles in my neighborhood. I just told myself, like, I have to walk like 3 to 4 miles a day above and beyond all of my Pilates stuff. So, anyways, I'm a little bit tired and I'm kind of chilled to my bone, but I needed to get in here. I wanted to kick off the show. Oh, not as cold as PA. You are so right, Sonia. Hello, Empire Builder. That's me, Joe. Look at this. I need to start charging Elena Cardone like royalties, or I don't know if it's royalties is the word, but just as I just live in the Empire swag because I love it so much. I'm so tied to the Empire. It's not even funny. All right. So anyways, all of you tuned in today, not to so much hear me rattle off about everything, but to find out, how do you find deals if you don't live in Central Texas and Lisa Copeland's your realtor? So here we go, folks. All right. So again, spent 3 days with Grant Cardone at his real estate summit in Miami. Absolute game changer. This guy is so legit. It's not even funny. Like, he owns 12,000 doors, 42 Class A apartments, but he's probably owned, I don't know, 142 in his 25-year career of being a multifamily investor. And that took him from being, when I met him, owning a training company to now a multi-billionaire. These secrets right here, these things right here I'm going to share with you is absolutely the road to wealth. The only way to build generational wealth, unless your last name's Walmart or Hilton or something like that, then you're going to inherit a bunch of it. But that's not me, is real estate. Generational wealth is built through real estate. And you look at some of the greatest moguls in the world, they built it in real estate. All right. So how do you find deals? First of all, you have to identify your ideal asset. All right, your asset is the property. So when we're talking about multifamily, commercial, but let's just say multifamily for right now, we're talking about, it's an asset. It's not an apartment complex. It's not a house. It's not a duplex, fourplex. It could be, but really it's our asset, right? Assets are sexy. That's what my dear friend Sharon Lecter says. Assets are sexy. I love that. So number one, you want to find the right location. How far is it from a Walmart, a Starbucks, an HEB if you live in Texas, a Target? Okay, think about where big retailers are going in. Understand that they spend millions of dollars on site maps and site locations. So follow the Walmart, follow the Target, follow the grocery store, follow Starbucks for sure. Okay. Follow Chick-fil-A, follow big retailers though, because then you're going to know you're on the right track to a good location. Number two, you got to look at the deal, right? The deal is the deal. And if you listen to what I said last week, the deal really is number one. It starts with the deal. You got to have a deal, because if you don't have a deal, it doesn't matter where it's at. All right. The age of the property. The age of the property ideally would be built 2005 or newer. All right. Now there's some exceptions, of course, and we'll talk about that later today. But when you start looking at Class A, Class B, Class C, and Class D properties, you'll start seeing where aging comes in. And the older they are, the more money you've got to put into them to bring them up to speed, right? And you're going to want to put money into them to bring them up to speed so you can raise the rents. You guys have heard me talk about forced appreciation. You get in there and you raise the rents. So knowing, just throw a little side thing in here, but knowing that that's the mindset of an investor, is to buy a property and raise the rents, period. Because when you raise the rents, you raise the value immediately. You don't even have to wait for the real estate to appreciate. So why would anybody ever want to rent a house? because whoever that landlord is, their mindset is to make more money to raise the rents so that they can up the value of the property. So don't rent. Renting is no good. Number 4 is the class of the property. Is it a class A, class B, class C, or class D? I will talk about that a little bit later tonight. And then number 6, cash flow, right? Cash flow. So it is okay, side note, to compromise a bit on the property, excuse me, a bit on the cash flow, meaning maybe not taking as much initially, or because, to improve the asset. So maybe, maybe you find this great asset and the location is just sick, and it's an amazing location, and you're like, oh, but it's only cash flowing $600 a unit. Well, you might want to go ahead and make that acquisition regardless, because everything else checks the boxes, right? It's in a sick location. It's a great deal. The property fits in line. It's a class B, class C, maybe class A property, and it's already cash flowing. So then you can start imagining the possibilities from there. Yes, Joe, cash flow is the goal. All right, you got to know your market when you're identifying assets. That's what we're talking about tonight, right? Number 1, what's the history of the market? What are the ebbs and flows? Is, I don't know, Toledo, Ohio a good place to go? I have no idea. I just pulled one out, but we all know Austin, Texas is a good place to go. Why? Well, Elon Musk is moving here. We know that. Elon Musk actually already lives here. Number 2, know your market. Cost to build. Now, that's interesting. One of the first things you want to do if you're looking at multifamily is you want to take the amount of units and divide it into what you're paying for it. And then you want to say, okay, is this, is it costing me $100,000 a door, $150,000 a door, $200,000 a door? And we'll talk about that more later. But, you really want to know, because then you can kind of back into, the square footage and cost to build per square foot. And from there, you can see whether, you've got something that's viable or not. You want to kind of do a worst, middle, and best case scenario by saying, what is the lowest rent if everything goes to heck in a handbasket? What are the medium rents for that area? And then, of course, what are the possibilities, which are the high rents? You want to look at occupancy. How is this thing occupied? Is it 100% occupied? Is it 90% occupied? Is it 70% occupied? And if you're in an area like mine and it's only had 70% occupancy, Houston, there's a problem. Okay, you need to dig deeper. You need to go start talking to people. You need to talk to the tenants. You need to talk to the manager. Anyways, you want to look at home ownership in the area. What does that look like? Is this an area that's all multifamily, or are there people that own homes around it? I can tell you that if it's an area where there's a lot of homeowners around it, it's going to be a more stable investment. All right. So if it's more of like a buffer zone property, and what buffer zone means is that it's kind of the buffer between, like, maybe a strip center, the buffer apartment or multifamily, and then the neighborhood behind. And that's, you always have to have a buffer in real estate. And I can only speak to Texas. So if it's in the buffer zone, that's usually a good deal, because there's a lot of single family homes behind it, pride of home ownership, lower crime, blah, 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 blah. Jobs. Are there new jobs coming to the area? Right? You've got to have jobs to support rentals. And I think Grant told us for every 5 jobs, you need 1 apartment. No, for every 5 jobs, you need 1 apartment. I think that's right, but it's something like that, right? So you have to have a steady flow of jobs. Otherwise, you're not going to have a steady flow of renters, right? You need people moving in and moving out, moving in and moving out. Are there barriers to entry? So a good example of that is Houston. Houston is flat. Lots of land, lots of flat. Now, Houston is the #1 apartment market in the country. So there's lots of them, multifamilies. But where they're more desirable and you get more money for them are when there's lakes and mountains where there's not a lot of flat ground where people can go build more of them. Austin, Texas is a great example of that. Product supply. Remember that old thing, supply, demand? If you do not have enough supply and there's a lot of demand, that's good for you. If there's too much supply and very low demand, like maybe there's not a lot of jobs in this area you're looking in. And so, it's a very stagnant area. It's not a good place to think about going into multifamily. So you go back up to, what the number one thing is that we talk about is the deal. It's not a good deal. Number two is the location. What about the location, right? If there's nothing new moving into there, and you're just counting on the same 12,000 people in this small town USA to rent your place, move in and move out, that's a bad deal. Get out. Don't even think about it. Owners in the market, right? So what else is out there? Who's your competition? So you want to know, who are the other owners in the market? How many other, if you're looking at duplexes or triplexes or fourplexes or 12plex or 32 doors or 64 doors or 100 doors, like what else is out there? You want to know the competition. And then number 10 is you want to work with knowledgeable realtors. Owner occupied homeownership. Okay. Yeah. Work with knowledgeable realtors. That's the most important thing. And I have people that watch my stuff from all over the country, all over the world, actually. Ask your realtor. There's a couple questions I want you to ask whoever you're working with. Number one, are you a full-time realtor? Or is this your side hustle? Or is this what you do all day, every day to support your family? Okay. This is a different game. The investment game is a much different game than the single family resident game. Okay. This is where you've got to have a realtor or a broker that is knowledgeable about the market, that understands rent rolls and understands cap rates, that understands market stability, that understands economics, who understands a lot of different plethora of things. So you've got to, just because Susie sold you your house that you live in, Susie may not be the right one to get you into the investment game. All right. So where do you find multi-million-dollar deals? Let's talk about that. Third parties, right? LoopNet, which I think is open to everybody on planet Earth, kind of like Realtor.com, CoStar, Realology, etc. You want to watch sold properties, because there's a lot of times that if things start selling in an area, that means the same owner could own them. So, there's the potential to get them off market, or there's something churning in the neighborhood. Okay. You can look at local city and county records, and that would be for, things that are pre-foreclosure and stuff like that. Talk to people who have deals under contract, because guess what, y'all? They fall out all the time. Yeah. I think, especially during the heyday, the craziness of it all, it was almost like, we had to spend time keeping people in deals because it was such a frenzy, a feeding frenzy, that people would make a quick decision and then go home and think on it and go, oh my God, what am I doing? Look for merchant builders, which are flippers. Okay. Realtors and brokers, we always have off-market stuff. I have 2 amazing off-market properties right now. And the owners just don't want them in the MLS. Now they're going to let me market it to other realtors, but they don't want me marketing it to the public. So always talk to realtors, talk to me, talk to, people that about off-market. And then join or another one is to join a real estate club. And, the best thing I did, and I told you all this, is that I joined Grant's Real Estate Club. It cost me $25,000. But the people I have been put with, the deals that have been put in my path, what is the value of that? Priceless. Absolutely priceless. All right, you guys, tell me if you like this. Hey, tell me in the comments if any of you out there are real estate investors currently. Say yes. And then tell me if you are interested in becoming a real estate investor. We got some cool things coming up. So I want to define a couple things for you guys and gals. The big one is the cap rate, right? So a lot of times when you look on LoopNet or CoStar, or when you're talking to a broker, they don't even tell you the price of the property. A lot of times, they'll tell you what the NOI is, net operating income, and they'll tell you what the cap rate is. It's like anybody can figure it out, but there's this just different game that they play in the multifamily world. So the cap rate is the most popular measure through which real estate investments are assessed for their profitability and return potential. The cap rate simply represents the yield of a property and return potential. The cap rate simply represents the yield of a property over a 1-year time horizon, assuming the property is purchased on cash, not a loan. The capitalization rate indicates the property's intrinsic natural land unleveled rate of return. Okay, like in English, a lot of times the cap rate is very close to what the market interest rate would be. All right. And that is kind of the return. So like right now, a lot of stuff, the cap rate's 7 to 7.5%. So what does that mean? The returns are not good. They're not as high as they were when money, right? When the debt was at 3%, 3.5%, because now debt's sitting at 7 to 7.5%. So it's a little bit trickier now. But the thing I want to encourage everybody is that assets are on sale. So if you can buy the asset for less money, you guys have heard me talk about this in residential real estate. You can buy the asset for less money and, and get a decent rate of return right now, then it's still the time to get into this business, right? It's the time to become a real estate investor. Let's see here. And then I just want to tell y'all real quick about the different class of properties. You heard me talk about that. And when you're looking at LoopNet and you're looking at, or you're talking to me or whoever else, we're going to tell you that it's a class A, it's a class B, it's a class C, it's a class D. So class A, imagine the nicest, newest apartment complexes that you see out there. They're beautiful. They're within 10 years old. They've got gorgeous amenities, gorgeous landscaping. They look like Disneyland when you go in, all the amenities in the world. That's class A. Class A, highest rents possible. Class B, built in the last 20 years. The exterior and interior amenity package is dated, and less that what is offered by the other properties in the high-end market. It's pretty easy to differentiate a Class A and a Class B property. The Class A is still all shiny and new, and the Class B is a really solid property. It's a great place to live, but it's not near as it just isn't as nice as the Class A, right? Just not as many amenities. The inside's not going to be as new. The appliances won't be as new. I mean, all of it, right? Now there are people that go into these Class Bs and they'll spend $20,000 a door, and they'll fluff them up a little bit. Class C, built in the last 30 years, limited dated exterior and interior amenity package. Improvements show some age and deferred maintenance. Majority of appliances are original. So Class C is where a lot of real estate investors start, because they're like, you know what, I can get in there, and as people move out, I can fix it up unit by unit by unit. And we can talk about that at length. Sometimes it makes sense to do that, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just cash flows, right? Because people need affordable housing. And then Class D, I don't ever put my clients into Class D. They're rough. It's almost like Section 8 housing, just not my cup of tea, not my, nothing I want to represent or put my clients into. They're usually over 30 years old, pretty beat up, a more transient, Section 8, things like that. And I'll tell you, I know people that make a lot of money in Section 8 housing. It's just not what I want to do. So, and it's nothing I would steer my clients toward. But so, just know that when you're looking at properties, I want you to think about in your mind, like, is this an A, a B, a C, or a D, right? Based on what I've told you about these properties. So, it's absolutely such an amazingly interesting game. I wonder if I've got this one I'm looking at right now. Oh, yeah. So this is what me and my friends do now at night. Do you see this? So my friend Charlie came over. She's on my team the other night, came down to spend the night with me. And you know what we did all night? We underwrote properties. This is a 479 unit apartment building in College Station, Texas. Yep, home of the fighting Texas Aggies. And she brought this down, and we underwrote it. And I figured out that per the cap rate, per the NOI, that the seller's looking for $32 million for this property, and that we need to raise about $8 million in equity to do the deal. But we're kind of working through it. College Station, College Town. This place has been newly renovated. The rents are great. The NOI is very strong. It's, the expenses are pretty good. And, there's a great opportunity to raise rents on it. So this is what we do now. This is what we do when we all get together, me and my friends. We go to LoopNet or we go to CoStar, and we pull up properties and we just start underwriting. I mean, we say, okay, this is how much this property is going to cost. This is what the NOI is going to be. This is going to be the return to our investors. This is how much equity I need to raise. Who am I going to start calling to raise money? Yeah. So anyways, that's my life. But it's a good life, y'all. And I'm telling you, if you want to build generational wealth, you've got to get into the real estate game. and I would love to work with you. That's a QR code. I know you know that. Take a picture of that. It'll send you out to one of my websites. If you're interested in working with me, if you're in real estate and you're like, okay, I'm ready to get into this game. I mean, 2023 starting out really, really strong. I mean, really strong for me. And that's because I've been laying the bricks on getting my clients into the investing game. Because any property that has been purchased, even by Blackstone, BlackRock, any of the big boys, all these institutions, they're all dumping them. They're all dumping them. And again, you don't have to buy 479 units in College Station for $32 million to get into the game. I'm dreaming about this one at night, though. I won't lie to you. I've got to figure out how to put it together. Um, but you can get 2 doors, you can get 4 doors, you can get 6 doors, you can get 12 doors. There's thousands of these properties, but you've got to have somebody who knows how to navigate the waters, negotiate the deal. There's a lot of cuckoo sellers out there right now. These multifamily sellers are still trying. They're under pressure, right? Remember what I told you guys last week? That there's not any distressed properties. There's just distressed sellers. Why are they distressed, you ask? Because they got into these things in the height of the market, 2019, 2020. They secured debt at about 3.5% on a 3-year arm, and now their loans are coming due. Remember what I told you, Grant said, that there's going to be blood in the streets, even if it's yours, buy? Yeah, there's going to be some blood in the streets. And so we're looking for, I don't want to look at distressed properties. It's not what I do. I'm finding distressed sellers, and I'm bringing in opportunity buyers, people who've got money, that want to put their money into an asset that is going to 10x. Just the only thing I can think of right now. 10x their money someday, right? Have incredible tax benefits. I mean, the depreciation is sick. I mean, you can get to the point where you just pay no income tax if you do it right through all of these multifamily investments. So if you're interested in knowing more, I'd love for you, shoot me an email, lisa@lisacopeland.com. Don't forget me about all my local people watching the replay. I'm casting for my show, American Dream, Selling Central Texas. It'll be on Fox, Amazon, Roku. I don't know, all the streaming channels, plus it'll be on network. Oh, this was the best training today. Thank you. I appreciate that. But it'll be on all the streaming networks. I'm looking for houses. If they're already listed with another realtor, I cannot use them on the show. So I'm looking to list the house. I'm looking to, but I'm telling you, it'll be a good referral that you guys will make, because we're going to just blow these houses up like on steroids. And again, it doesn't cost the seller anything, and it'll be a lot of fun to be able to, have their home on television and have me talk about it. So anyways, I'm excited about 2023. I just want to thank all of you out there. So many of you, over the years, you guys have tuned into my shows. Back when I was a car dealer, you bought cars from me. You buy houses from me. You support me, my family, my business. I mean, that's just what I thought about on Christmas, just how damn lucky and blessed I am for the people that God has brought into my life. And that's every single one of you who tune in every week. That's every one of you that work with me, that are on my team, that leave it all on the field every single week for our clients, for our company, to make EXP proud, to make Tarek proud, to make Elena proud. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful for all of you. So anyways, I hope that I brought value tonight. I'm always available for a conversation. As you guys can tell, I'm so pumped about this, because guys and gals, I saw it firsthand. I knew Grant, and Grant always has me tell this story. If you guys have heard us on Clubhouse, he had me do it at the Real Estate Summit. We were in a private luncheon, and he goes, Lisa, tell the story about how you and I met. Like, he loves the story, and I love the story too. Like, he flew in on Southwest or American Airlines, walked into my car dealership and tried to sell me training. But oh, by the way, he was going to go look at apartments that afternoon. Obviously, I was not in real estate then. But I saw him, like my own eyes saw him go from doing that to where he is today, where he's flying in on his own Gulfstream, where he owns 12,000 doors, 42 units, and is now a multi-billionaire. Like, I saw the guy do it in 12 years. Okay. I saw it firsthand. And I love all these people who try to say he's a scam artist, he's a shyster. No, I've been to his house. his wife's one of my very best friends. I know his children. Like, everything about him is absolutely 1,000,000% legitimate. And I saw him build that empire. And the way he did it is what I'm teaching you guys and gals during this whole series of how to build generational wealth through multifamily investing. So anyways, go out there, be blessed. Will I see you before New Year? I'm going to see you next Monday. So yeah, I don't think I will. I think I won't see you again until 2023, but I'm around all week. Call me. If you want to talk about real estate, if you don't live in Central Texas and you need me to refer somebody to you, I would love to. I would be honored to. I've either got somebody on my team or I can find somebody else on one of our other amazing teams. So thank you again for all your love and support. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, happy holidays, and I'm going to tell you Happy New Year now, and I'll see you in 2023. Bye, guys.